This is Chris York. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
Hello, Chris. I heard your parody you did about my movie. I wasn't very happy. I might have to break both your fucking legs.
Eyewitness accounts say the creature has teeth, leathery wings, a beak, and claws. It is a vampiric creature associated with witchcraft, often the servant or familiar of a witch or witch doctor. So it's a lightning, vampire, Thor bird. Hairy man on man. And these flightless bats that he suggests will come about hunt on the ground in packs using echolocation and just eat everything. Bigfoot may have tickled somebody's balls, aliens may have anally probed people, and your Fortean Slip Daily Dose starts now. Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Fortean Slip Daily Dose. This is the Ghost in the Bedroom episode. And greetings from the fucking white tundra of the north, where we're getting dumped on with another foot of fucking snow. Yay! It's just fucking snow. I won't even be able to move soon out of my house. I'll just be trapped. Everybody's fucking scary fucking scenarios will come true. I'll be trapped, alone, dying in my house. No food, because nothing ever opens after a storm. Fucking crazy people. To all of my friends who are Patriots fans, congratulations on the 4th Super Bowl win in franchise history. I did watch the game last night. I'm not a huge football fan. I don't really pay the fuck attention to any of it. My wife does. I will on occasion catch plays, parts of games, but I don't keep up with it all year long. I can't. I don't have enough, desire. I lost a lot of interest in sports when I was very young. I think it was I think the strike was what really did it for me. The baseball strike. I was a huge baseball fan. I collected baseball cards. I was into a lot of really fucked up players. I liked Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden. At the time, Clemens was, when I was collecting early on, Clemens was still young. Konsenko and McGuire, when they were both on the Oakland A's together. But it just, once that fucking strike hit, I was like, fuck this. It just ruined me for sports. And I never wanted anything to do with it again. And I'll watch the Super Bowl, and every once in a while I'll catch like the World Series or whatnot, but I'm just not big into it. But it was a good game. So congratulations to my friends who are Pats fans. To those of you who are my friends who are Seahawks fans, sorry. Sucks being you. To the topic at hand. I have not talked too much about ghosts on the show. I don't know how much I've relayed. We've done a lot of shows now, so it's hard for me to go back and go through everything so I know exactly what I've said. But I know we haven't really gone in depth on it in any way. I don't know if I've told my ghost stories, so I thought I might do that and give my take on what I think the whole phenomenon is. When I was about 22, 23, I'm going to say, it's been a while. I was living with my girlfriend at the time. We split up. I kind of had nowhere to go. I wound up in my cousin's basement for a little while, which really sucked. And then I wound up renting a room from a friend of mine who wound up having a room open up. You know, I lived there for years, because it was cheap rent. He didn't really need a lot of money, and he didn't charge that much for rent, so it was easy for me to live there. It was a shithole. I mean, that place was just falling the fuck apart. I can remember, like, never wanting to bring any women to that fucking place. I knew it would just ruin any chances of me having any type of a solid relationship. You live here? Oh, I lived in this back room, and for the longest, there's a mirror that was in the room. I didn't put the mirror in the room. The mirror had always been there as far as I know. And it was on the back wall. It was one of those big, wide mirrors, you know, that you can pretty much see the whole fucking room in. The thing that I started noticing was I was constantly feeling like I was seeing a figure. And I attributed it to a woman. I don't know why. But I kept seeing this figure out of the corner of my eye. I'd catch it most times in the mirror, which is why I dismissed it, because I think a lot of times we catch things in a mirror and it's not what we think it is. It's just, you know, it's our brain playing tricks on us, or we're just processing the information wrong. But this went on for a really long time, and one time we were sitting around the house, me and my roommate, and I had mentioned it to him, and he said, "That's kind of funny, because my mother died in that room." And I did not know that. I knew that she had passed away. I knew that she had had cancer. I did not know that she had died in that room. I mean, we'd been friends a long time at that point, and it had never come up. So it kind of freaked me out. The only other instance that I have of a quote-unquote ghost story is when my grandmother got really sick. She got cancer. She died of lung cancer. And it was kind of quick but kind of slow. We found out in like February, I think I found out, and she died in May. She did not want to go through any type of treatment. She was 90-something years old. She just wanted to stay home and die, which is fine. I was fine with it. I would go and I would visit her, and we would talk, and my family was notorious for fighting over property. All of her children, for years and years, my grandfather had passed away in the 80s, and he had all this property and never parted any of it out before he died. Left it all in the hands of my grandmother, and the kids just fought. My father, my uncles, and my aunt just fucking for years and years and years just fought over property. This one didn't get the piece of property that they wanted. This one was given a piece of property. This one's kid was given a piece of property that this one wanted. Oh, it was just a fucking mess. I remember at that point I had a dream. And in the dream, I was sitting at a campfire with my grandfather. The only thing I remember him saying to me is, "I want you to tell my children how disgusted I am with them." And I said, "I don't know how I do that." And he said, "You do it at your grandmother's funeral." And I said, "I can't fucking do that, Grandpa. I can't. I can't do it." And he said, "Don't worry about it. Your grandmother and I will be there with you." It hit me really hard. It was one of those really deep things that like sat with me for days and days and days. And then finally I sat down and I wrote something. And I took it to my grandmother, and to this day I regret never telling her the whole story as to why I wrote it. I wished I had told her that it was because I had that dream. But she was a very, very religious woman, a very Christian, and I didn't know how she would take it. So I just wanted her to know that this is the way that I felt about things, and I wanted to relay it, but in a nice way, to my family. And I asked her, I said, can I say this at your funeral? And she's like, "Well, why?" And I said, "Because when people are uncomfortable, they'll listen." And so she agreed, and I did it. And it went off without a hitch. Miraculously, I did make it through getting up and speaking, and I never broke down, because that was my big concern. And I don't know that I felt like they were there with me, but I made it. A lot of people got very upset with me for saying what I said. I did it because my grandmother wanted me to do it. I approached her about it. She read what I had written. She requested that I read it. And I had cleared that with other members of the family, so that everybody knew that I wasn't just getting up and being a jackass for no reason. It was something that she really wanted. She felt as strongly about it as I did. I just think she had no clue as to how to deal with all of the problems that my grandfather had left for her. She was a woman of another age, where the men did all that shit. In a lot of ways, I think she should have stepped up, and in a lot of ways, I kind of understand. But that was my other kind of ghost story moment. Now, as far as ghosts go for me, I don't know what I buy into. And I'm that way with most everything. I'm a huge skeptic on a lot of fronts, even though I've had a lot of these weird and strange experiences. I tend to think that ghosts are nothing more than resonant energy. I tend to think that it's not a spirit walking around trying to communicate with people that people see in this quote-unquote reality. What I think happens a lot of times is that we as humans are extremely habitual. We have patterns, we do the same things all the time, every day. We also vibrate. We're made of energy. And there are things around us that store vibrations. Quartz crystal, certain types of rock, even, the homes we live in. And I think that on some level, in a lot of cases, that ghosts are nothing more than the old remnants of resonant energy stored or left over, still tuned in, if you will, to whatever it was that was around them that held that signature. And that's what I believe. And that's what I tend to buy into that a lot more than the idea that there are spirits just running around on the earth everywhere. Now, as far as like the dream that I had from my grandfather, that one I really don't know. I don't have any concrete idea as to what that was. Was that really him? I don't know. Was it me? Could have been. I don't really know. I know that made a huge impact on people in my family and me at that time. It probably was the right thing at that point in time to do. It was what my grandmother wanted, so she read it. She was blown away by what I had said, so it wasn't like it was a bad thing. I don't know what I think about ghosts, all in all. I don't think it's all, great and dandy to be talking to spirits, communicating, EVPs, Ouija boards, shit like that. I have used Ouija boards before. To me, it's just a leftover energy that just happens to tune in, sort of like tuning in a fucking radio. You just happen to hit that spot, that sweet spot, for some reason. And some places, it seems, have those sweet spots more than others. This has been the Fortean Slip Daily Dose, episode 38. If you like this shit, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. You can leave a comment. You can subscribe to the channel. That would be appreciated. We are extremely close to cracking 900 subscribers. I would like to hit 1,000 very soon. Started doing the Fortean Slip bedtime stories on the channel. If anybody hasn't checked those out, I'm gonna try to do a few creepy ghost story, UFO, weird stories a week. Check them out.